Good evening and welcome to News Channel 8. I'm Jerome Aegean, and these are some of the top stories we have for you tonight. 15 rounds of heavyweight boxing. It's the governor versus the Senate. We've got the blow-by-blow. A man suffers from a gunshot wound on St. Croix. And the St. Croix gun buyback program, a huge success. These stories and more up next on News Channel 8. In our top story tonight, Governor John DeYoung has sent a stern warning to the VI legislature recently, all because of the budget. Let's go right to Governor John DeYoung.
10 days ago, the legislature sent to me a general fund budget that had fully gone through the legislative process. 3 stages of review: the Committee on Finance, the Committee on Rules, and the entire Senate. And after a summer of reviews and hearings, they moved ahead with their budget. They voted on it, and they approved it, and that is the budget I have before me now. The budget that they have sent to me is more than $15 million short of the balanced budget that was sent to them by my administration. After dozens of meetings and hearings before the legislature by members of my administration, and after countless requests to keep the budget balanced against our current revenues, the legislature has ignored our efforts and submitted a budget that is not sustainable. Now I have but 3 choices. I can sign it, I can veto it, or I can let it become law without my signature. If I veto this budget, this risks a shutdown of our Virgin Islands government. This is not a risk I will consider given the gravity of our current economic conditions and the fact that all the families of our territory would be immediately impacted. If I sign it, I'm agreeing with the Senate that their fix to our budget crisis is to dismiss several hundred employees of this government, perhaps as soon as December 1st. This is an outcome I have worked long and hard to avoid, yet the senators voting knowing what the budget they passed will require. To be very clear, I'll state it again. This budget shortfall means that they are leaving to me the obligation to eliminate more expenses from your government, and the only place to cut is personnel and personnel costs. Back in March, when I made my proposals for cuts in holidays and increase in taxes, they said no, leave it to us. We will fix it in the fiscal year 2012 budget. When they realized that we would run out of money in fiscal year 2011 before reaching September 30th, they passed an early retirement incentive program, which, it should be noted, was passed without the necessary funding to pay the proposed incentives. They also passed an 8% cut across the board for everyone. Neither of these measures was enough, but the senators said, work with us, and we'll find a way to fix the rest of fiscal year 2012. Well, they've now spoken, and they've said, our fix is you, Governor, not us. You have to fix this. Here's my decision. I am not going to put my signature on this budget so as to indicate to you, the taxpayers of the territory, or to the senators of this legislature, that this is my budget. It is not. It is the 29th legislatures and theirs alone. So, this budget of the 29th legislature will become law without my signature. My administration will immediately begin the task of deciding how the territory can live under this budget, what must be cut, and who must be dismissed and when.
And we want to thank Government House for bringing us that video tonight. And now for the legislature's response, News Channel 8's Wes Small is with Senate President Ronald Russell.
Thanks a lot, Jerome. I'm glad to have the Senate President with us this evening. Senate President Ronald Russell, we're going to get right to it. I'm here at Henry Rolson Airport in this comings and goings. Senator, over the weekend now, the governor has issued a statement saying he's not happy with the senators, that you are $15 million, I believe, off from his budget request. I got to tell you, he really lambasted you guys, all the senators. He said, you know, you had all summer to do your homework, get your calculators out, and this is the best you can do?
Well, first let me say we disagree with the governor. The budget is balanced. And the $15 million represents about 2% of the whole budget, West. You gonna tell me over a year that if you use proper management skills with finances, you can find through proper management skills a way to make up the 15 million that he says is a deficit. We don't believe it's a deficit. We passed a balanced budget. We have been working through the year. We've reduced the deficit now that he says is $15 million. Working with us instead of following the governor is the new order of the day. The Senate is now setting the agenda. We have worked with 8%. We have worked with the retirees. We have worked with new measures to raise revenue. And with this $15 million deficit, we believe that in the next 2 or 3 months, we're going to be able to solve it. We're not blaming anybody. The governor went into a blame game. We ain't blaming anybody. We're going to solve the people's problem. We're working on the LEAC. We're working on situations to help small businesses. We're working every day, deliberately, and in a continuous manner to solve the budget problem. We bring it down to 15 million. I don't believe the governor should lay off anybody or dismiss anybody. There's a year to work out $15 million. You could avoid dismissing people and just adjust your budget accordingly and come to the Senate whenever you need to make the adjustments, and nobody needs to be dismissed. We're not threatening anybody. We're working for the people to solve a serious financial problem. So I'm not going into the blame game. We're going to lead. We're going to lead by example, because the Senate, as I told you the last time, our operating budget was 23.8 million last year. We bring it down to 19.8. We working within our means. The governor should manage the money like how we managing our money in the legislature, and nobody would be dismissed.
You know, I heard it before a few minutes ago off camera. Someone said, well, if I have to do my budget, which I don't do a good job of, but other people are trying to manage their lives with LEAC, the 8%, people getting cut across the board. How come the governor can't do it?
Exactly. 2% of our over $700 million. You gonna tell me you can't manage that? People had to manage 8% when they got the cut. So it is about managing money, and it's about working with people, not trying to get your own way and force people to do what you want. 15 people could come up with better ideas to deal with this fiscal crisis than one person. And it's time for this public to understand that this legislature going to lead, West. We're not going to follow failed policies. The governor's policies fail. He borrowed money, he made promises, and now we're in a deficit. It's time for us to lead and bring the people out of the pain that they're feeling.
Wow. Well, it looks like we have to call for Mr. King, not Rodney. We can all get along. We might have to call Don. Ready to rumble. Don King. It's the legislature against the governor. I'm Wes Small for News Channel 8.
And we want to thank Senate President Ronald Russell for his words tonight. And in other news, a man suffered from a gunshot wound to his foot earlier today. News Channel 8's Wes Small files this report from the Juan Louis Hospital.
Thanks a lot, Jerome. It is around 3:30 in the afternoon in the parking lot of Juan Louis Hospital. This incident came through, we believe, about an hour ago. News Channel 8 crew came across some forensics down in Watergut area. Here's what we have. We have a victim, a male victim, age unknown, with a gunshot wound to his foot. No suspects in custody. No suspects to be looked at for custody. And the hospital's not on lockdown. So what does that tell you? Self-inflicted? I didn't say it, but we'll wait for forensics and them to get through with it. For now, this is what we know. We have a young man, age unknown, in the Watergut area sometime this afternoon around 2:30, 2 o'clock, with a gunshot wound to his foot area. And we have forensics here now, and they're inside the emergency room, but not really a red alert. We don't think any other suspects are out there, like somebody shot him. Who knows? Maybe he was cleaning his weapon, went off, or something happened. But I'm not saying it's self-inflicted, but I'm not saying it's not self-inflicted either. We'll just have to wait and see what forensics has to say. At Juan Louis Hospital, that's all for now. I'm Wes Small for News Channel 8.
Thanks, Wes. And more on gun control. The gun buyback program was a big success. That's up next on Channel 8. Stay with us. And let's take a look at your Caribbean report for tonight. In your Caribbean report tonight, we start in St. Kitts and Nevis, where Taiwan has pledged its unshakable commitment to all cooperation projects and programs within the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, said Taiwan's resident ambassador Manuel Tassau when he hosted a dinner in celebration of the 100th National Day of the Republic of China and the 28th anniversary of the diplomatic relations between the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis and Taiwan, acknowledging that the helping hands assisted Taiwan to stand on its feet in the past and will forever be grateful. Tassau thanked the government and the people of St. Kitts and Nevis for their strong support, pointing to the milestone marking the 28th anniversary of the establishment of the diplomatic relations between Taiwan and St. Kitts and Nevis. The Taiwan diplomat noted that the Republic of China was the first country to establish ties with St. Kitts and Nevis. I wish to thank the government and the people of this country for standing solidly with my country for 28 of the 100 years of our history. We look forward to 100 years more of sound and mutually beneficial relationships between our two countries, said resident diplomat Tassau. And in Dominica, the official assessment is not yet complete by Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, but has already indicated that he will need outside help in dealing with the damage caused by Tropical Storm Ophelia. On Thursday, government officials said that others involved in the disaster management touring the areas damaged by the weather system, primarily along the western coast. The local government department has moved quickly to assess the situation, and they will assess the persons who are most in need. Disaster Management Coordinator Nathaniel Isaac stated, heavy rains damaged homes and washed away vehicles and bridges and left some communities without running water and electricity. Landslides were being cleared to restore access in some areas. Acting National Secretary Minister Alvin Bernard said that the situation has shown that authorities need to take hard decisions to protect lives. The competent authorities have to be a little bit more resolved in their decision-making in terms of authorizing the construction and resettlement. And finally, in Jamaica, where the Department of Local Government on October 7th signed a memorandum of understanding with the U.S.-based Green RG Management LLC for the company to test its solar technology in Jamaica. The tests, which will be carried out at certain local government facilities and other public entities, are to determine the feasibility and the sustainability of the technology to Jamaica's environment and to examine the prospects of such innovation in the present. This move is to support the government's focus on increasing the use of alternative, affordable energy resources, as articulated in the National Energy Policy of 2009 to 2030 and the First Action Plan of 2009-2012. The Minister of the State with responsibility of local government, Shahane Robinson, speaking at the signing ceremony, said that the project is at no cost to the government and will also see Green RG providing solar energy solutions to schools, infirmaries, and government businesses on a pilot basis. And that's your Caribbean report for tonight. And the recent gun buyback program on St. Croix was a huge success this weekend. Here's Wes with more.
Thank you very much, Jerome. We're at Rainbow Command, and you might remember the gun buyback program that Channel 8 has been promoting along with other media outlets. And Police Chief Hal and Melody Rames did a great job. And we outdid St. Thomas for St. Croix. Here's what we got. We got 78 guns collected in all. That's a 2-day period, 53 on the first day and 25 the next. Guns as old as 1944. Before we get started in the press conference, we want to thank Roger Dewey, the St. Croix Foundation, for making the funding possible. Over $8,000 handed out to you in cash for what you've done. Wait till you see these guns. Southern Rent to Own, congratulations. Wyatt at Ovenza, Renaissance, Cruise and Rum, Home Depot, and the Lieutenant Governor's office at the last minute. Congratulations to you guys. Now, let's go to Police Chief Hal.
In the 2-day period, we recovered 78 weapons, the bulk of which was recovered on the first day. The first day, we recovered 53, and the second day, another 25. The guns are of various make and models, as old as 1944 and as current as late 2000s. As also what we did recover is a large amount of ammunition. What you see in front of you is a very small percentage of it. We actually ran out of table space, so we weren't able to display it all. And a lot of people that brought in weapons also brought in ammunition. The most extreme amount was a whole case of shotgun rounds that was brought in. As you know, the Virgin Islands Police Department each year recovers a significant amount of weapons off the streets of St. Croix. And what these weapons represent is weapons that will not fall into criminals' hands and be used in robberies and murders and all other felony assaults. So every weapon that we take off the street is great. The program worked as it was designed. There was no questions asked of the individuals that came forward, and it was a very quick in and out the door.
I had it wrong. I said over $8,000, $10,400 worth. That was the buyout. Some people got a lot more money, like $500, $600. Please pay attention down the road 6 months or so in the territory for the next gun buyback program. It was all anonymous, and it all went without a hitch. Congratulations to the VIPD and all the volunteers.
Thanks, Wes. And when we come back from this break, the Virgin Islands Puerto Rico Friendship Day highlights. Stay with us. And this weekend, the Virgin Islands Puerto Rico Friendship Committee thanked their sponsors for making this year's event a huge success. Let's take a look at the highlights.
We call Emilio Torres, the Chinese star. The Chinese star of Virgin Islands Puerto Rico Friendship Committee, 2011. Thanks for your valuable contribution. On behalf of Virgin Islands Puerto Rico Friendship Committee, the Yvonne Galiber Foundation, Inc., YAG, for outstanding contribution to our community, October 9, 2011.
Delegate to Congress, Donna Christensen, could not be here this evening, but she sends her well wishes. This is a certificate of special congressional recognition presented to Yvonne A. Galiber Foundation in recognition of your outstanding and invaluable contributions to the Virgin Islands community. October 9th, 2011.
Congratulations. On behalf of the Virgin Islands Puerto Rico Friendship, recognize United Way of St. Croix for their outstanding contribution to the community. October 9th, 2011.
On behalf of the Delegate to Congress Office, this is a certificate of special congressional recognition presented to the United Way Charity of St. Croix in recognition of your outstanding and invaluable contributions to the Virgin Islands community.
On behalf of the Virgin Islands Puerto Rico Friendship Committee, recognize 10,000 helpers of St. Croix, Inc. for an outstanding contribution to our community. October 9th, 2011.
On behalf of the Delegate to Congress Office, we present to your certificate of special congressional recognition presented to 10,000 Helpers Incorporated in recognition of your outstanding and invaluable contributions to the Virgin Islands community. Thank you.
On behalf of Virgin Islands Puerto Rico Friendship Committee, recognize the American Cancer Society St. Croix Unit for the outstanding contribution to the community. October 9th, 2011. Bravo!
On behalf of the Delegate to Congress, this certificate of special congressional recognition presented to the American Cancer Society in recognition for your outstanding and invaluable contributions to the Virgin Islands community. Congratulations.